The temperature on the tarmac must be well over 100 degrees. The Guard of Honor stretches all the way back to the control tower. Air Force One begins a long, lazy curve as it turns in for its final approach. As the wheels bite the tarmac, the squeal of small puffs of burned rubber escape from the tires. Air Force One taxis to a halt in front of the welcoming committee. The main bulkhead door swings open and out steps not the President, not the Vice President, but the Ambassador of the United States. But nevertheless, the band strikes up the Star-Spangled Banner, followed by All Hail to the Chief. Honoring the ambassador is to honor the president himself. The ambassador stands at the top of the stairway, waving and smiling. This is a welcome fit for a king. If the president himself would have stepped out of that plane, he could have had no complaints. The second of the Asorat HaDibrot, the 10 statements, which are sometimes called the 10 commandments, says, Lo yeheh lecha Elohim acherim al ponai. You shall have no other gods before me. Al ponai literally means in my face. Why didn't the Torah just say that you should have no other gods? Why did it add the words before me? The Rambam Maimonides, at the beginning of Hilchos Avodah Zarah, explains how idol worship first started in the world. The ancients knew that God runs the world through a series of emissaries, a chain of command. That divine command descends through all the upper worlds until it reaches the stars and the constellations. The stars are the last link in this chain of command. In the generation of Enosh, Adam HaRishon, the first man's grandson, people started to surmise that since God had created the stars and the constellations as his emissaries to run the world, God himself wanted the stars to be honored, for to honor them was to honor the king himself. They started to bring offerings to the stars, but they still understood that they were only intermediaries. This mistake, however, degenerated into the eventual worshipping of the stars alone as deities, disconnected from God. It's clear that this final step in the process, the worshipping of the stars instead of God, is what we call idol worship. The Rambam, however, says that even the first step, giving honor to the constellations, was already full-fledged idol worship. This is difficult to understand. When you welcome an ambassador, you give him all the honor benefiting the one who sent him. For in truth, the ambassador represents the king. What was so bad then about giving honor to the ambassadors of the king? Lo yeheh lecha Elohim acherim al ponai. You shall have no other gods before me. The Sforno explains the extra word lefonai as follows. Al ponai, she'ein cholkim kovod la'avodim b'mokom hamelech, va'ani b'chol mokom al ofen echad b'shaveh. You don't give honor to a servant in the presence of the master, and I, Hashem, exist everywhere. There's one place where to honor the ambassador of the king is the biggest insult to the king that can be. And where is that? In the throne room of the king. God exists everywhere. The whole world is his throne room. To give honor to the servant in the face of the master is like giving all honor to the ambassador, and then the president himself steps out of the plane. That's the biggest insult that can be.